We got a guy who is stuck out on the eastern side of the eastern hills in some snow. It sounds like he had some radiator issue. He needs coolant brought to him. He's in anywhere from 3 to 5 feet of snow. I'm not exactly sure. I've heard reports kind of on both ends of that for that area right now. So we're gonna have to go out into the desert, head to the south, and come back in from the eastern side back into the hills. I think is our best way to get to him. We get as close as we can with the hauler rig and the trailer before we unload and head out with the Jeep. Apparently this guy got stuck yesterday. Another towing company that does off-road recovery stuff tried to get to him in like a built Jeep yesterday evening and couldn't make it, so the guy ended up staying overnight. Now the next morning we're gonna go in and try to get him. Now this is the next morning after the last video you guys saw of the track Jeep where it flipped a track on me in when it dove into the snow. And no, I have not done anything to fix that yet because, as I said, it's first thing the next morning. I'm sure there have been plenty of comments about what I should do or ways to fix it. I haven't seen any of those yet because I haven't seen that video yet because I haven't made it yet. So by the time you see this, you will have seen that and that'll already happen. Either way, these tracks do not have any sort of provisions for rotation limiters. That's why I'm not running limiters on it. They were built without any way of doing that, so I have to make something. I know people in the past have said everything about like shocks and bump stops and springs and all that, and just keep in mind, this little distance right here is all you have to work with. Nothing can go up to the frame because Cherokees don't have frames, and also because this has to turn and swing in here. So whatever you do has to be between like drilling a hole right here or welding a tab on and this knuckle bracket right here from the mat tracks. I have that much room to make something out of to make it not do that. So I'm not 100% sure what I'm gonna do yet. I was gonna try to make something today, but then we got this call first thing this morning, so we're just gonna head out and be careful with them, obviously. And as you can see, the Jeep is running. I always start it up, always, before I leave the yard. That way there's no surprises when we get out to the unload point and there's a dead battery or some other issue like that. I'm gonna go get some gas cans, grab some coolant, get everything loaded up, and we're gonna go try to get to this guy. Okay, update. We are quite a ways down the road here. We came down the highway here. That's the Highway 20 that goes out to the east in Idaho. And then we're turning off on this dirt road, not maintained from November 1st to May 1st. And we've got 12 miles of this dirt road to go to a campground that would be a really good unload point, and I've unloaded at before. But looking at the snow on the hills there, we're probably not gonna make it to that. The guy we're going to get is 6 miles past that campground, so we're 18 miles away right now. So we came out the main highway into the desert, turning off on a dirt road, and we're heading back into the east side of the foothills here, and then gonna start going back up into the real snow and mountains from this side. It's like a trailer or something burned down right there. Huh. So we're about halfway out to the campground. We just stopped here because this is a perfect example to show you my conundrum with recovery vehicles. The job we're going to do sounds like it would by far be best to have a snowcat to go do something like this. And a lot of people ask me why I don't just get a snowcat. But this road is showing exactly why I don't get a snowcat and why I use something that's a rubber track vehicle like this. So this looks like just a light little dusting of snow on a gravel road, but what happened yesterday was it snowed in the morning, then it warmed up a little bit, and it rained on top of all this throughout the day, and then it froze overnight before any of the rain could run off. So this looks like gravel with a little dusting of snow on top. That's all frozen ice all the way across that. And the gravel road isn't giving any traction. It's like coming up the hills, coming in. I've been spinning coming up of them in 4-wheel drive and like sliding down the downhills on them to the point where I'm very much considering unloading this here and driving it the rest of the way, which I can do with all rubber tracks. I mean, you can do it with a snowcat with like metal cleats as well, but you're just gonna shake yourself and your vehicle to pieces the whole way there. And that's not something I want to do, especially since I run into this situation pretty regularly. Like on the side here, looks like just fluff snow, but you can stand on top of it, nothing moves, and you don't even hardly leave a footprint in it. So another good example was the last video you saw this Jeep in. I unloaded and then drove it about 3-4 miles down pavement to where you turn off up the trail, because where the trail was, there was nowhere sensible to unload without either leaving the truck and trailer in the road that people are driving up and down, or trying to get the truck and trailer up that nasty, muddy snow mess trail and ended up getting this stuck. So an all rubber track setup like this, whether it's the mat tracks or these, you can park somewhere very sensible with this and not be pushing your luck of getting in somewhere and getting yourself into trouble with your hauling rig, and then just drive this down the road. These don't 100% like it, since they use snowmobile slides on the bottom and you're not in the snow to lubricate the slides. So they're not the happiest doing it, but since they're all rubber track, they will. The mat tracks with their like bigger bogies and suspension and no slides in them, they don't care. They can do it all day long, exactly what they're built for. So these ones, you're just wearing them a little quicker to do it, but it's better than like wrecking your truck. But the flip side of all that is once you get into the snow, snowcat is better. It pulls harder. It can go through much more difficult snow and terrain than any vehicle tracks can. It is just better at the job. And in this situation here, I'm kind of nervous about if we're going to get the vehicle out or not, because I was told the radiator blew, but if the radiator blew, the vehicle doesn't run. And if the vehicle doesn't run and it's 3 to 5 feet of snow, this Jeep is not pulling it out of there, which means we're just going and getting the person and getting them out back to safety, and I don't know what to do about the vehicle at that point. See, it doesn't look like it, but we're going downhill right now, and this is just ice. Anyways, whereas if I had an actual legit like snowcat, it's going to hook on that thing and yard it out of there no problem. Like, that won't be an issue whether it runs or not. But the issue is getting it there, and in my use of a snow vehicle, I have to haul to and from the snow every single day, and where we're at here, that's long distances. Like, what time is it? We're an hour into this trip so far, and not even to the unload point yet. Here's an example. Now that ice might cause us an even bigger problem on the way back out of here this afternoon, because it's 30 degrees right now. If it warms up above freezing, enough above freezing, it's going to melt all that ice and that precipitation sitting on top of this road, and then we're going to be dealing with mud on the way out and spinning up hills and sliding down muddy hills instead. And I don't 100% know which one of those is worse. I guess at least when it's ice and you crash, your truck's still clean, so that's nice. But yeah, that's why I don't get a full-on snowcat, is because of the amount of time I have to drive up and down either a paved road or a gravel road like this or something like that to get into and out of the snow without pushing my truck and trailer too far. Like, there was one last year, I believe, where from where I unloaded the truck and trailer on a turnout on the side of the road to down the pavement where the trail took off up the pavement, we had to go, it was 8 miles of pavement in each direction. So 16 miles of pavement driving to do that job. And you're not doing that with the snowcat. It's just not going to happen. But with tracks on a Jeep, I was able to cruise down the road at 40 miles an hour and then head off up into the snow. The one solution to all that, well, there's two solutions to all that, is an all rubber track snowcat. One thing being the Hagland that I had would have been a great fit for the kind of mix of that. The other is one of the Tucker Terras. The Hagland that I had, obviously I sold that, and it needed a lot of maintenance and work to be reliable for doing this type of thing, where I'd feel comfortable doing this, because you're going out to get people who are stranded, you know, so you got to have like reliability. And Larry with Tracked Outdoors, who bought it, none of that mattered to him, because he was going to strip the entire drivetrain out of it and rebuild it anyway. That was the whole plan. So that was perfect vehicle for him. Way too big of a project for me, which is why I ended up selling it. And buying a ready-to-go one is very, very expensive. There is a Tucker Terra for sale right now I've been seeing listed. Ooh, is that a big puddle? Hold on. Tucker Terra, I've seen listed for sale. It's an all rubber track Tucker Terra 2000 XL, which is a light enough weight to haul on my flatbed tilt trailer that I just bought behind this pickup, but is also a powerful enough and tough enough machine to just be dragging dead vehicles out if needed, do the recovery. All rubber tracks can go up and down the road at a decent speed, can run across the dirt, the gravel, no problem. Has a 6-way blade on the front. That's another thing. I do get a lot of calls, well, not a lot, but I've gotten a fair amount of calls for doing stuff like getting people up to cell tower sites or remote operations out somewhere in the snow. And I say no to most of them, even though I'd love to do those, because a lot of those sites no one's been to in a very, very long time, obviously because it snowed over, and you have snow drifts. And a setup like this track Jeep or track pickup, whatever, yeah, they're good in snowy roads, but you get up into powder and snow drifts and you are seriously pushing your luck of getting yourself into some major trouble. So unless it's ones I know I'm good to get to, I turn those down just out of safety for both me and who I need to get up there. But something like that Tucker Terra with that 6-way blade on the front, that's exactly what it's built for, and that would be a great fit for that. Only problem is it's like $100,000, and that's a whole lot of money to spend on a vehicle that's basically only good for the winter season. And this winter, we're in February now and just barely getting started. So are we gonna have a long snow season into early summer, or are we just gonna have a super short snow season? And spending that kind of money on something like that makes zero sense at all. So that's like the problem I have in my head of what is the best snow recovery vehicle to get. I would love to be able to do more of that remote access and tower site stuff, but I would need obviously the correct vehicle for doing that. But it also has to be one that I can haul up and down the road easily, has all rubber tracks, and has the power to be pulling stuck and broke down vehicles around. And reliable enough. That's a big one. Reliable enough. There's a lot of affordable snowcats out there, but I don't know if there's a lot of reliable, affordable snowcats out there. And also those are all like metal cleat tracks, so I don't want that anyway. Okay, we're getting into some ruts here. This is gonna be dumb. I should probably unload at that turnout back there. Okay, I'm giving in. We're gonna unload here. We're still 2 miles from the campground I wanted to get to unload at, but I mean, it doesn't look bad there. It looks like there's a line right here where it gets significantly worse going up over that, and I could see like almost foot deep ruts up at the top of that. So there is like kind of a little split in the road right here that I can use to turn around. You see like another road takes off right there. So with the trailer empty, I can pull up there, back over into that or whatever, and get turned around here. If not, there's another road that branches off down there. I can back up and turn around. So we're gonna play it safe, unload here, and just drive the Jeep the rest of the way in. So that makes us about 8 miles from the guy we're going to get right now. It's also starting to snow, and I hope it stays cold enough that stays snow and doesn't turn into rain, because that will cause us lots of problems. So Jeep is warming up. I'm gonna get it off the trailer. Probably just park this right here in the road because no one's out here, and then off we go. Yeah, I definitely made the right choice unloading right there. We're 200 yards up and in serious snow. No, not like serious snow, but snow I don't want to be trailering through with my truck. Okay, we made it to the campground I was hoping to get the truck to. Hoping it didn't look like this, but it does. It's not that bad here, but some of the going through the trees and stuff to get here got quite a bit worse. I would have probably made it if I chained the whole truck up and fought my way through it, but obviously it's better to just drive this, so I'm glad I parked where I did. Good bit of stuff here. It's very crunchy hard, like I was saying, and now we got 6 more miles out to go. Luckily, I do have a good GPS pin for this guy, so as long as that's accurate, which it should be, we know right where he's at. He's on this road. It turned out to be about 6.5 miles to that campground, so we still have another 6 to go. Then the big question is, when we get there, how much snow is there? I know he's off the side of the road, like over the bank, he said. And then at first he said he blew the radiator, but then he said he fixed it and just needed coolant and water, so I don't know if he has a running vehicle or not to get it out of there. So that's the big mystery still, is what is it we need to do when we get there. So we shall see. Oh, and for those wondering about the speedometer, when you have the tracks on, whatever the speedometer says, you're actually doing about half that. So right now it says 40, we're doing 20 miles an hour. That's the basically the gear reduction of the tracks, or that smaller drive wheel of the tracks. That's another benefit over a snowcat, is we're doing 20 miles an hour right now through the snow, and there's not many snowcats out there that will do that. There is one I found for sale. Like I said, there's that Tucker for sale. There's a couple Sisu Nasus, which are just like the Haglin, but again, very, very expensive. And then there's another one for sale I found called a Piston Bully Flexmobile. And they don't have a price listed for it, and they haven't got back to me with a price yet. And it basically looks like the front half of a Haglin without the trailer part. Would be a great vehicle. It's all rubber track. Apparently that one goes pretty fast, can go down the road, everything. Has a good like payload, power capacity, all that stuff. It would be a really good fit, but they haven't got back to me with the price yet, and I'm quite honestly scared of what that price is going to be, because it's probably a lot. So for now, our $3,500 Cherokee and $5,000 set of tracks is going to do us just fine. Okay. It's a good bit later and we're still just cruising along. Everything's going fine. I'm very happy with what I'm seeing from the Jeep, you know, temperature wise. And one big thing is how hard I'm having to push on the throttle. In the red Jeep, to do like this speed through this snow, I would be like hard into the throttle to do it. This one, it doesn't feel like I'm pushing much more than I would be cruising 65 down the highway. So that's a big difference in this much bigger, more powerful engine, is you're not using nearly as much of the power. So happy with that. Cattle guard, we definitely want to slow down for. So there's usually a big hole at cattle guards, and there is. So about a mile to go. Hopefully we should get to him soon. Up there he is. and he has not slid off the side of the road at all. He's right in the middle, so this is dead on the pin drop, so that is our guy. We'll see what's going on. How's it going?
Good, man. How are you doing?
Good, I'm Casey.
Casey, I'm Ryan.
Nice to meet you. So it runs, we just gotta put coolant in it?
Yeah.
Okay, I got some for you.
Okay.
And then we just pull it out of here, get turned around, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's not bad heading back out that way. Like, this is by far the worst of anything. So
yeah, this was the worst spot I wanted the whole way in. So I tried.
yeah, I see.
Cut a tree down, limbed it up, tried to get it under there to try and get this side up a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I don't have lockers.
I don't either.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but you got tracks, man.
Lockers, tracks, same thing. All right, I'll grab you some coolant. Water, where's coolant's on the other side, I think. Bring lots of warm stuff. Here's some coolant concentrate and then distilled water too. Okay, we start with the coolant and then add water as needed.
Yeah.
So did it like blow a line off, or?
No, I don't know.
Or just overheat and spit it out?
No. You can see it down here.
Yeah.
I almost wonder if the AC condenser ended up poking a hole from rattling back and forth.
Yeah.
Know what I mean?
So it's not spewing out, it's just slowly leaking. Okay.
Yeah. So this has happened to me before, where as long as I'm running and driving, it holds on to most of it.
Water pump. So when your water pump starts to go out, there's a weep hole in your water pump.
Yeah.
When you're going and there's pressure on it, it's not leaking. When you shut off and the pressure goes away, it weeps out that. That means your water pump seal's going out.
Gotcha.
So that's what it would be, hopefully, because that means while it's running, you're fine.
Right.
But yeah, that'd be a sign that your water pump's dying. And that weep hole is there so that you see that it's dripping and leaking on the ground while it's sitting before it quits on you going down the road.
Oh, gotcha. Well, I was thinking it was the radiator, because if you look down from the top, it's a line all the way across the radiator.
On the front side or back side?
On the back side.
I can see it on your cross member straight down.
Yeah.
Huh.
But like right down, yeah, if you look right down from this front corner, that's where I saw it dripping.
Oh yeah. What time of after you get stuck?
11
Like
a.m.
AM? Okay. She's been out here almost 24 hours now.
Yeah.
Were you able to run it overnight or?
Nope.
No?
Well, I mean, I could have, but I was so warm in my wool blanket and sleeping bag.
Oh, someone who's prepared.
A little bit.
So that is a very good lesson in being prepared before you go out into the snow like this, because overnight and you were fine and comfortable.
Yes.
No emergency.
Nope.
Because you're prepared.
I did wake up sweating.
That's bad.
My t-shirt was wet.
Yeah, that's bad.
That's
you don't want
bad.
to sweat,
No.
but that means you were plenty warm.
Yes.
So go prepared. Don't go with nothing like a lot of people do, and then they're freezing cold and it turns into a major search and rescue mission in the middle of the night, like a life and death situation. That's bad.
That's bad.
Because one certainty of vehicles is eventually they break down. Well, that didn't take much at all.
No.
That's good.
Only down about a gallon, I'd say.
Good.
So that's good.
That gives me hope.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, I think that looks like an old skid road out of there.
Yeah.
So I think maybe I'll try to pull you back there,
okay,
and then come around the front and get you back into these tracks,
yeah.
and then I think
and then I can just follow you
probably follow me out, and if I have to, I hook on and pull you some. Got a hitch receiver, so that's easy. Yeah, that looks like an old maybe skid path from logging, which means I should be able to drive out there without running into anything. Or like that, we'll see. Are your tires aired down?
I'm at 30 on this side and 32 on that side.
Okay. The concern of the aired down too far pulling on these ruts, if I pull sideways, it'll roll it off the bead.
Right.
So that's good. We'll leave them right there.
Yeah, I just had that problem recently, so. Hoping this morning that I'd be able to get out now that everything's froze up.
Yeah, I got firm enough.
Yeah. That didn't happen.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
What usually happens is, you know, everything crusts over so bad around here. What usually happens is people drive out in the morning when it's all that hard crust on top, and they make it way out in the middle of nowhere, play in the snow, and then in the afternoon go home when that crust is softened, and then they don't go home.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can see I just slid off the main track a little bit and got in the soft stuff, and here I am.
I'm gonna double this up to make it extra short, since I'm gonna be pulling you around this corner.
Yep, absolutely. And tell me what you want me to do.
Put it back up far enough. Ah,
Almost.
so close. Ah. Perfect. Okay, go ahead and start it up and get it warmed up, and then you'll just in-4 low and reverse. It's probably not gonna want to turn where it's sitting, but as soon as you start coming out of that, start getting turned.
Okay.
And I'm gonna just go out, maybe just straight out that way and just get your back end out there.
Okay.
So then I can get in front of you and just bring you right out into this.
Perfect.
So you'll give just a little bit of throttle to get out of this, and then basically back off and let me pull you out here. Unless it doesn't want to, then you'll have to help. But ideally, we let this do all the pulling so all this stays tight.
Okay.
So this guy does not seem stressed out about the situation at all and overloaded or anything like that. So we'll use the radios. I told you I have them. I just choose when to use them and not to. Here you go.
Perfect.
I can give you any instruction if needed. You're in 4 low?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. He's on it. Well, that went very ideal. Hopefully the rest of this goes that smooth.
Right. All right, so you do this a lot.
Yeah, I do.
Double should I get?
So everybody talks about shoveling snow. We don't live where there's like powder, fluffy snow. So a snow shovel out here is just gonna end up getting you a broken shovel. So I just use a normal short-handled dirt shovel, so you can get under nice and easy. And usually even this, you're having to like break it into the snow. You're not gonna do like, I see people out here with snow shovels, and every one of them, if they try digging, it's broken. It's not gonna chip through the ice.
Right.
So just a normal short-handled shovel, make it easy to dig underneath.
Okay.
But being as icy as this stuff is, a lot of times, you know, there's that hard crust layer on top and it's just sugar mess underneath.
Yeah.
Once your tires break through that and drop down, your whole chassis is sitting on that hard layer and your tires aren't to the bottom yet. So the best analogy I heard for it is it's a turtle on a fence post. Your tires can't grab anything anyway, so you can shovel out in front of them. It ain't gonna do you much good unless you can shovel under the chassis and get it to get down to something solid, but
right.
That's
what I was noticing yesterday. I said I couldn't get my little plastic tray out of my toolbox. I couldn't get under there to get that stuff.
Yeah, you're not gonna get, I mean, it's possible if you sit there long enough laying on the ground underneath the vehicle to dig under the whole chassis to get it down to something solid, but the problem is this crust layer type snow we have here.
Yeah.
Once your tires drop through, if they don't drop to the ground, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll get turned around, maybe go through and out there and get back in front. Before I hook onto you, let's just see if it'll make it up here. Maybe just, you're sitting on top pretty good right now, so maybe just ease back a little without spinning, and that'll give you kind of a runway to get back going on.
Okay.
A little more. Okay, now try like without spinning, get it as much momentum as you can, and kind of use that as your little runway to get it through this.
Okay.
Now, as soon as it started to slip there and spin, stop. Now try to ease back out of that. Keep going. Okay, stop there. You're right on top, you see? Now try to give it a little bit of momentum through that hole and see if it'll come out the other side.
Okay.
Don't spin and dig in, but go as much as you can without doing so. Now back up and do that again, and you'll work your way through that. Right there, okay, go. Perfect, back up. Okay, stop there, right on top of that hump. That's kind of a little runway to get you moving, and see if you can punch out onto those ruts.
Okay.
Close, yeah. See how they're going back and forth without spinning? You're packing this down into something you can drive on. But if you spin, you're gonna break that and go through it.
Gotcha. I think that's what happened yesterday.
Yep. So as soon as it starts to fight and want to spin, you stop and ease back out of that spin, and you can pack yourself a trail through it, kind of break your way through.
Gotcha.
So I think here you've got enough runway to get to that, and you should be in it.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah. Perfect. Got it. Nice. Good throttle control. Don't forget the camera in the wilderness again. Yeah, you can kind of build yourself a runway like that and kind of push your way through stuff sometimes. But once you break it and dig in, you're done. Yeah, and on that one where you went that kind of with the farthest there, you got off to the side of that little runway you made just a little bit. That's why it started to sink in again.
Gotcha.
Try to stay on those tracks in your turns as gradual as possible, because if you got your wheels turned hard, you're putting a lot of your forward driving traction into turning and not propelling you forward.
Gotcha.
And then they kind of, you lose your forward bite.
Right.
So easy turns and try to stay on that pack stuff you're making. You can build yourself a runway.
Gotcha. I'm gonna sort of stick that away.
Okay. Yeah, I'll put this up and I'll help you. Yeah, in the spring when all the snow starts to melt, you come out all these roads and there's piles of branches and stuff laying in the ground.
I gotta take that. I tried.
Yeah.
Everything possible.
We're out.
Cool.
All right, follow me and we'll just try to stay centered in the ruts.
Okay.
I get out of them and get in the snow because it's much easier on the tracks to be out of the ruts, but you stay in those main ruts, not in the ones I drive in.
Yeah.
Back through the cattle guard. I think there's like 3 or 4 of these we got to cross. I think 4. There's a number of them that we have to cross, and that's accurate. So I decided to stay in the ruts for now, till we get out of the little bit deeper stuff and done with all the uphill. That way it packs it down for him. And once we get on top and it lightens up some, then I'll get back out of them. Because in the ruts, it just beats this thing back and forth and shakes it and throws snow up really bad because the side of the tracks are hitting the side of the ruts. It's much nicer to offset and get out of them actually into snow. We made it. And he made it too. Success.
Success.
All right, you're all good.
Thank you so much. What do I owe you?
Nothing.
You sure?
Positive.
I gotta do something for you, man.
No, all the people watching this video on the YouTube channel, that's what pays for all this so that you don't have to.
Oh my God. I appreciate it so much.
Happy to help.
Thank you.
Yeah. Still leaking some coolant, it looks like, but
It is. Yeah.
do you want to check, see if it needs topped off before take off while I have some more coolant here?
At least just throw some water in the reservoir.
Yeah. There you go.
Thank you.
Yeah, if it only used that much there, you should be fine getting home.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Yeah. That's why I have 8 of these. Perfect. Off he goes. Notice how he watched and waited till the truck started before pulling off, even though I told him it was all good. Much appreciated. Check this thing out. So it worked really, really well on this job. Very happy. The thing was not stuck bad at all, like kind of what I was fearing. Just obviously communications limited in the middle of nowhere, and I heard slid off, stuck, blown radiator. So I thought we were gonna have to dead drag that thing out through 3 feet of snow, 5 feet of snow, whatever. Also heard the 5 feet of snow because the other company that tried coming to get him came from the west side, trying to come in that way over the mountain, and there's a spot in there that just the way the weather works, it just dumps a ton of snow for about a mile long stretch. If there's a foot of snow here, there's 5 feet of snow in that stretch. I've made that mistake before trying to go get someone coming in from that direction on the same road and didn't make it even on tracks. So I'm not surprised that they didn't make it on tires last night from that side. And when I did it, then we ended up having to come all the way around, drive an hour, hour and a half around through the desert to get back to here and go in this way. So I was expecting much worse conditions and a much worse stuck in a totally dead vehicle, which is why I was so worried about whether this could do it or not, but everything turned out good where it did it no problem. But that leaves the question, do I stick with this and be happy with what I got and just set up some sort of limiter setup? Or do I invest like 100 grand into a Tucker or another Haglund or something like that to really go after all this snow stuff and just be fully committed to the fact that that is going to be my snow vehicle for the next 4 or 5 years, because that's what it's going to take to pay for it. Back and forth. I would love to take on so many more of like the tower site jobs and remote access stuff that I'm hesitant to do with this, but how much of that is there really? I don't know, without making the investment first and finding out after you spend 100 grand. So I do really enjoy this snow stuff, but do I $100,000 enjoy it? Okay, loaded up, tied down, and done. But 2 quick things for you in this video. Number 1, and by far the most important lesson in all of this, be prepared when you head out in areas like this to spend the night if you have to. He had to, and it wasn't an emergency at all. No big deal. He was warm and comfortable all night, had everything he needed to spend the night. When that situation popped up, it was fine. And number 2, and far less important, is where is my fancy new tilt trailer? Well, it is at home where it should be. That trailer is a 2025 brand new, incredibly nice, not a mark on it trailer. And this one here, well, this one's a 2020, which is a pretty new trailer, but as you can see, it's got chunks of paint missing from all the road cinders and gravel roads hitting it. It's all faded paint from all the de-icer. Down there's all, the paint's all knocked off of everything. That's just what happens to a trailer going up and down these gravel roads and then up and down our highways with the big lava cinders they put on for traction around here. It just beats the hell out of them. And as long as I can keep my fancy new nice trailer nice, that's obviously what I'm going to do, and use this one for the track Jeep as long as it'll fit on it. And granted, if we get a snowcat or another set of mat tracks again or anything like that that requires the use of that other trailer, that's what we'll use. But I bought that trailer because it's a trailer I have always wanted since long before tracks. Just needing it to fit the tracks I had was the final thing that made me break down and buy it and get that trailer. So we'll use this one when we can use this one. We'll use that one if we have to use that one. And that's that. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.